Senator Risa Ontiveros to deliver her speech. I so move, Mr. President.
Our Deputy Minority Floor Leader, who just celebrated her 32nd birthday, is recognized, Senator Risa Ontiveros.
Salamat kaayo to the kind Senate President.
Thank you, ma'am.
Opo. Mr. President, I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege. One afternoon, 6 years ago, anxiety enveloped the Senate as news that law enforcement agents were in the vicinity circulated. They were here to arrest our colleague, Senator Leila de Lima. February 24th po ang anibersaryo ng kanyang pagkapiit, and in detention, former Senator Leila has survived public vilification, lewd innuendos on her supposed sex life, the ravages of a pandemic, turning 60 and thus becoming a dual citizen, the death of loved ones, and a shocking hostage attack, the details of which are still undergoing investigation. Last year po, sunod-sunod na din ang mga recantation ng mga key witnesses. April 28, 2022, drug lord Kerwin Espinosa retracted his previous allegations that he had had drug dealings with De Lima through Ronnie Dayan in Bilibid, stating in his sworn affidavit that he was coerced, pressured, intimidated, and seriously threatened by the police. April 30th, 2022, former Bureau of Corrections Chief Rafael Ragos retracted his testimonies that he personally delivered money from Bilibid inmates to De Lima through Dayan on 2 occasions in 2012. He claimed that then Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre coerced him, quote, to admit something that did not happen, close quote. May 13th, 2022, Ronnie Dayan, the former bodyguard of De Lima and a co-accused, also recanted his allegations. He claimed he was told by the late House Justice Committee Chair Reynaldo Umali to lie about receiving drug money for De Lima. And June 1, 2022, De Lima's camp shared copies of the 2 counter-affidavits of Marcelo Adorco, another government witness, executed in 2020 and 2022, in which he also withdrew his testimonies against the senator. Adorco said he was forced to make the claims for fear of his life. Ang pinakamahalagang recantation ay yung kay former Bureau of Corrections Chief Rafael Ragos. Sa pagrecant ni Chief Ragos, there is no longer any evidence against Sen Leila to prove that she was involved in the illegal drug trade in Bilibid. There are other developments that bear upon the case of our former colleague, Mr. President. In Reyes versus Director or whoever is in charge of Camp Bagong Diwa, the Supreme Court granted Ms. Gigi Reyes's petition for habeas corpus, stating that her continued incarceration, quote, has become oppressive, thus infringing upon her right to liberty, close quote. It said that, quote, while the writ is generally not available to a person whose liberty is under custody of an officer under process issued by a court or judge, when such custody becomes vexatious, capricious, and oppressive, amounting to an infringement on the constitutional right to speedy trial of an accused, the writ of habeas corpus may be provisionally availed of, close quote. The right to speedy trial, dear colleagues, is an actionable right. It is a right afforded to all citizens, and a right that Senator Leila may legitimately avail of. This is not about being in the opposition. This is not about the past or present administrations. This is simply the invocation of a human right that all Filipinos are entitled to. Mr. President, the oldest and largest organization of parliaments in the world, the Interparliamentary Union, has renewed its call for the release of Senator Leila. Kasama nila ang napakaraming local and international organizations that ask for the same release. If the Senate as a body can recommend the filing of charges against individuals and personalities who violate the laws of this land, surely we can recommend the dropping of charges against those who are victimized by these laws and those who need the law and the Constitution's protective mantle. A few days after we commemorated the 6th anniversary of her detention, I say, Mr. President, dear colleagues, and I hope you say with me, free Leila now. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you. Mr. President, I move that we refer the privilege speech of Senator Tiberos to the Committee on Justice and Human Rights. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection to the motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we adjourn session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, February 28, 2023.
There being no objection,